We visited Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri for its annual Harvest Day Festival. Came away with a few hits and misses. Ahoy, travelers! It's Amy from Cruising from the Ozarks. Unfortunately, I don't get to cruise year round. However, there are a lot of great places in the Ozarks that we do get to enjoy in between cruises. Let's start out with some of the misses of Silver Dollar City's Harvest Festival. Miss number one, there were no shows. Silver Dollar City has several venues where musical productions are put on throughout the year. During the summer, they are a nice respite from the heat, and in the winter, a good place to warm up and enjoy some music and a classical Christmas story. Many visitors to the park do look forward to these shows and a break from walking around a very hilly park all day long. However, during the Harvest Festival, the only show available was the saloon show. Now, some people love the saloon show, but it is not our thing. We're not huge fans of the saloon show, and it really doesn't seem to change much from year to year. So it's not for us. Now, there were a few of the open air venues that often host like small bands and stuff. Those were going on occasionally during the day, and we did stop and rest for a little bit in the afternoon, watched a bluegrass band, watched part of a gospel quartet. Miss number two, Pumpkin Plaza. Now, from the get-go, we knew this was not going to be a thing for us because it was advertised as a after dark dance party, which seems a little bit out of the norm for Silver Dollar City because Silver Dollar City is a park based on the 1880s. However, we did choose to stick around and just see what it was like. Just check it out. So we chose to walk through the area, and I didn't even get any video of this because we went through so quickly and it was ridiculously crowded. But it was just a place for kids, it seemed. It also was touted as a new area in the park, an expansion of Wilson's Farm, which, if you're familiar with the park, that's where the barn swing is. But it looked like it was just a converted parking lot. And there was a bandstand that didn't have anybody playing. They were piping really loud music from there. And then around this parking lot were a few booths, some food booths. One was really odd. And there were also like places where kids get their face painted, and they had places where you could buy some kids' toys. Like they had these pumpkin bubble wands that every kid there seemed to have after 5:30 p.m. But it definitely wasn't for us. It may be something for you, but for me, that was a miss. Miss number three was the biggest miss for me. Very disappointed in this, and that was Foggy Hollow. In fact, we actually stuck around for 3 hours after we were done with the park just to go to Foggy Hollow. It didn't open until 5:30, and then we wanted to wait an extra half hour until it was actually a little bit darker to experience it. It was advertised on their app and even in their paper. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these. They have this paper that you can get. It's free. It's all over the park. You can get one. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. But it was explained as this walk through the woods, and it was going to be, they're going to pipe in fog and have, sounds of the night and music and have this lit area. There was going to be a bunch of lights. The reality was, it was a short, like maybe 100-yard path that led to this pumpkin city, which was miss number two. It was nothing. And there were some lights that hung down, and they didn't even seem to all be working. The sounds piped through were like crickets. Which was kind of cool, but it literally is Ozarks We have crickets. I don't know that you need to pipe in the sound of crickets. And then you could see the pipes that were laying alongside the path that were pushing out the fog. It was the most disappointing thing I have ever experienced at Silver City. I've been going for decades. I've never had something advertised and it come out that poorly in Silver City. So this to me was a huge miss. It was just a walkway to get to this kids' night dance party, and they should have just said that. It was very disappointing, and I'm really mad that we stayed an extra 3 hours just to check it out.
Hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
Listen. So let me know in the comments if you would see these as hits or misses. Do you think you would have liked Foggy Hollow? How about the Pumpkin City and the dance party? If you have kids, maybe that was your thing. Let me know what you think, especially if you've actually visited the Harvest Fest this year. Now for the hits. Save the best for last, right? So hit number 1, pumpkin foods. Now, if you like pumpkin flavored foods, Harvest Fest at Silver City is definitely for you. Almost every food venue had some kind of extra pumpkin flavored item on its menu. So there was pumpkin chili, there was pumpkin spice kettle corn. We actually started our day out with a pumpkin cinnamon roll at the bakery. When you first come into the park, there's a bakery there. A lot of people like to stop. We came in early, so we stopped for brunch. This cinnamon roll was huge, and we actually split it so that we could both enjoy food later on in the day. Even splitting it, this thing was huge. Hit number 2. The rides were operational. Now, we did not ride any of the rides on our trip. However, they were popping big time. It was 80 degrees in the park or close to on a Saturday. It's a beautiful fall day. And so by the afternoon, the park was so full of people, and you could see people getting off of these rides, including the water rides. Hit number 3, the fall decorations. While the decorations were not quite as impressive as I had hoped at night, you knew it was fall the moment you arrived at the park, thanks to Pumpkins in the City. That's what they called it. They had pumpkins everywhere. Both real and fake pumpkins were scattered around the park. Now, at first, I was a little disappointed that so many of the carved pumpkins were fake, but in reality, there's just really no way you could carve real pumpkins and them not need to be replaced every week. The fake pumpkins were intricately carved with all types of designs and lit throughout the day. There were even several giant pumpkin creations. My favorites might have been the 3 bats that were hanging from the Riverfront Playhouse. I thought they were so adorable. I also really like the cow, pig, and chicken at the newer Rivertown Smokehouse restaurant. That was a close second. Hit number 4, all the extra crafts. Now, Silver Dollar City is very unique as a theme park because its ode is to the time period when Marvel Cave, which is the attraction that the park is actually created around. It's centered around the time period when Marvel Cave was first really explored, which is the 1880s. Not only do park employees still dress like pioneers of the early 19th century, but there's a focus on period craft work like ironwork, pottery, glass blowing. Crafters are often brought into the park to add to the regular lineup. You see them throughout the year, but during Harvest Fest, there really were a lot of extra craft booths with crafters of all kinds from around the country. Now I'm going to throw in one bonus, and this is a bonus miss, but it could also be a hit. Really depends on how you take it. So for me, it was a miss. I do not like crowds, and we were forced to have to go on a Saturday due to my work schedule. And it was just such a beautiful day in the Ozarks that the crowds by 1 o'clock in the afternoon were almost unbearable. Like I said, upper upper 70s, close to 80 degrees. It wasn't cold, it wasn't windy, it wasn't raining, it wasn't too hot. It was just a perfect day in the Ozarks, and people came out to enjoy the park on that day. And I don't blame them, but for me, it was not, it was too many people. So we did come in early. We got there about a little bit out, half hour after the park opened. It park opened at 9:30. We got there just a little after 10, and it was perfect for the first few hours. Lunch, it started getting a little busy, and then by 1 o'clock, people were just pouring into the park. So I do recommend, if you want to go to the park and you just want to spend a few hours, you just want to see the park, if you're coming for Harvest Fest, then come early and then you can leave and go do something else. Branson's got a lot of things that it offers, and you can go and then see something else. I'm glad that I got to finally experience Silver Dollar City's Harvest Festival. Despite having season pass for years, despite having grown up going to Silver Dollar City because it's about 2 hours away from me, I've never been to Harvest Festival, which is crazy because fall is my favorite time of the year. But now that I've experienced it, I still hands down state that Christmas in Silver Dollar City is the best time in Silver Dollar City.